textures.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, he has a very rare genetic disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and because of that, he had many medical issues last year. But
Okay.
now, with we are undergoing a treatment called Movement Lesson. We had gone to USA for that, and
Mm-hmm.
it is showing results. So
Okay.
we are following it. So he's slightly delayed in his milestones. So I do not want to put him in the typical school system and want him to compete with the others where he's already lagging.
Hmm. No, which milestone are you talking about? At least
He's
the
all
only milestone I know are the ones on the road, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers. Other than that, at least I am not aware of any other milestones. Please enlighten
actually,
me.
yeah. Yeah, his mortal milestones like sitting. He had just started sitting.
No,
Uh,
that sitting wise is fine. I'm just trying to understand what are these milestones.
in medical terms, they say that there are motor milestones like
Mm-hmm.
walking, sitting, and then social skills, the eye contact, and then saying words. So he's lagging in all of them because he has vision issues, as well as he has a condition in hips which is delaying his motor skills.
Okay, okay, fair enough. Uh,
Yeah,
Well, I still didn't get the delayed part because I still didn't get the milestone part. I could understand that he is facing some challenges,
yeah.
and which is fair enough. I can understand that, but I'm not able to still understand the delay and the milestone part. Sorry. Yeah. Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I don't know what medical world thinks or what the world thinks in general, but finally, I think uh, each one of us is so different and so unique. Um,
Yeah, he is really unique. In his medical diagnosis, he is the only one in India with that condition.
Right. No, not just the medical diagnosis. I'm just saying each one is so unique. Each one is so different that if we put these milestone, I can prove everybody to be delayed. I can come up with
Oh,
some or the other milestone to show that Preeti is delayed, and I'm so definitely delayed, and even Gitanjali and Akshay are delayed. I can prove that in within few minutes, right? So
okay.
if it's only a question of what are we looking at, what
Okay.
what frame are we looking at, right? If
Yeah.
we put this kind of frames, then it sounds, oh, he's delayed.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
that doesn't sound very interesting. It sounds delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you think of each value, each individual as unique and different, then I guess nobody is delayed. Everybody
That's
is on
refreshing.
their own journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like saying, Akshan, Gitanjali, have you earned $10 billion? If not, you are delayed.
True, true.
Right? Everybody seems to be reaching there. Come on, hurry up. Right. So, yeah, I'm not trying to in any way undermine the challenges that he and both of you have faced. Fair enough. There are different challenges different people face. Um,
Yes.
and perhaps there is a name for it called life.
Yeah. Actually, he's showing progress. That's why
Awesome.
we could
Yeah.
think of other things and we could join this initiative. Last year, we could not think of any other thing.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was fed through a G tube, through stomach. He was not eating anything orally. Now he has
Hmm.
started eating orally, and he is doing something new every day.
Wow. Yeah. Nice. Nice. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so Preeti, today what happens? Everybody's holidaying somewhere. There's hardly any group today. Okay, but we can talk. We can continue talking. So, yeah,
Enjoying the
maybe
rainy season.
enjoying the rainy season. Yeah. So, Preeti, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So, hi everyone. I'm Preeti, mother lovely mother of an 8.5-year-old. And we are with Aarohi, we are a lovely, beautiful community, and we are every day co-creating, learning, living, and we are enjoying life. And I am right now from Mumbai, but love traveling, and we all as a family love traveling. So sometime we are in Bangalore, sometime we are in Rajasthan. So it depends. So that's my introduction.
And sometimes you are going around the sun on a free trip. Yeah. So whether you like it or not, we are all travelers, right, Preeti?
True, true.
Okay, Dwiji has also joined. Dwiji, you want to say hi to Akshay and Gitanjali today? As of now, we have only one family who is, but one is good enough to have our meetup. If you're speaking, Dwiji, we can't hear you. In fact, I can see your mic moving, but
Hi, Akshay. Hi,
ah.
Gitanjali. Okay, what's happening?
Hi.
You can see my. Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
You hear me now?
Yes. Oh, we have Terry
Okay,
also joining
just 1
us.
second. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Oh, no, your voice is going
Oops.
like this.
No. Okay, then I'll come back. I'll come back in a little while.
Sure, but your audio is fine. When you on your video, only your audio went bad. So
Okay.
the camera
ठीक है.
didn't like your
Is
face
it
for
better
some
now?
reason.
No, I'm not in my usual place. So,
Oh, okay. I thought you'll say I'm not in my usual mood.
am I audible?
Yeah. Voice is clear.
नहीं,
Yeah, little
network
shaky.
mood के लिए क्या है भाई, network doesn't care about
Okay, now your voice is
yeah.
gone. Now
Yeah.
it's in
So,
slow motion.
my name is Vijay. I'm
Vijay, your voice is
part of
gone.
Vijay, your
for
voice is
about 3
rotating.
years now, and my daughter is 11 years old. I'll just type Ratnesh.
Yeah, that's okay. Hi, Terry.
I'll type it.
And with Terry, we have the little Terry. I don't know his name. You can just introduce yourself, Terry.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Terry. This is my son Jonathan. He's 5. I've been joining the Jagrati sessions for this current batch.
Yeah.
You want to say hi? No?
Absolutely fine, Jonathan. Your shake of head was a good enough hi for us. Okay, so typically, this is like a very informal meetup where we talk about open learning. You can ask questions, we can discuss anything, any aspect. So Akshay and Gitanjali were talking about their 18-month-old son. And we were chit-chatting with them. And now we have Terry and Jonathan also. So yeah, maybe somebody can start with a thought or a question or whatever, something to start off the discussion. Yeah, Akshay, Gitanjali, would you like to share anything or ask anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are just like pondering upon. So just 2 minutes to get to the point, like rather than.
Sure. Take your time.
Okay, I think I got a better network now. Am I
Yes.
better? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I think I'll just take a minute to key into the topic of the day, what we had shared in the shout out regarding the meetup today. So we had talked about how open learning is like games, but it's on all the time. And while Olympics are like
Dwiji, we lost you. Your voice is eclipsed by some celestial body.
Ooh.
We lost you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
you
don't know
went
what's
the
happening.
other side of the earth. Signal
Okay.
not receiving.
Oof. Okay, you can intro the topic of the day, Ratnesh.
Oh, I have to say intro. I don't even know what's the topic. I know it's something to do with Olympics. Yeah. And I think what Vijay was trying to connect is how um, it's the game before the medals. Like that's what he was calling it. I like that line, the game before the medals, right? Uh, by itself, it doesn't matter who gets the medal or not. But if we are in open learning, we are getting medals every day because we are kind of trying, exploring, failing, achieving what we want from that day. And if that is what we want, as in we don't necessarily want success, we want to explore each day of our life to the fullest, then I guess we are getting a medal every day. I don't know, Vijay, if you meant it this way, but that's how this whole connection between Olympics or medals or whatever. Yeah, Akshay and Gitajli, you've raised hand. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, actually, we are very new to this open learning space and this philosophy. We are still reading about it, learning it from experiences of various parents whenever we have an opportunity. But the thing is, we have been raised as a part of conventional education system.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been to schooling, colleges, typical we have gave all kinds of exams we like this all open learning we have been exploring since last 1 or 2 years and
Mm-hmm.
like we are yet new to it so uh, many a time subconsciously we try to even at this age we try to maybe force our ideas or maybe force our choices upon our kids uh,
Mm-hmm.
and subconsciously like we are not aware of it then sometime later maybe we realize that uh, he should have been given a choice or he should have selected that thing rather than we forcing upon him so uh, what uh, what are the basic do's and don'ts or what philosophy do we always keep in mind to avoid such uh, kind of behavior on our part as parents or mm, progress ourselves in the process of unlearning the
Okay.
traditional education from ourselves.
Preeti, this looks like a tough question, so you answer.
I was thinking that today I'll get a nice one from Ratnesh. You start, I'll join in.
Okay, I was just joking with Preeti Akshay. Well, I would. The fact it's called open learning means that there is no philosophy, there is no method, there is no route that is mapped out for you, isn't it? So there's no formula or there is no one way, so there are no do's and don'ts. If at all you ask me what is the philosophy is that let's not get stuck with the philosophy, let's keep it open.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if you'll say okay, but then how do I, what do I do? If everything is so open, so normally people have these signboards, when you
Mhm.
go on a road, a highway, you have these signboards which tell you whether you are kind of going in the right direction, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and a lot of people
And
think that education system is a highway because there are signboards. You've done first standard, that's the first signboard. You've done second standard, that's the second high, and 10th, and then 12th, and then college and postgraduate. So each one is a signboard saying you're growing, you are developing, you're getting educated, you are learning. So that's one route. um, to follow, where you can follow these signboards. The other way to look at it is that, hey, how about just following the child? Where there are no signboards, the child is the leader, and and we'll just follow the child.
Okay.
How is that for a philosophy, if you want to call it the philosophy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're not following any philosophy, you're following the philosopher. Right?
Yeah, that's.
And the child is the philosopher for himself. I'm not saying, obviously, you will follow yourself for your own life.
Yeah.
Right? And so.
So many a times, like we become conscious of introducing few things to him. Like we are living in city, and also due to this COVID and all, we are not meeting many people around, or we are not socializing much. So maybe he's not making friends, or maybe he's not getting introduced to many of the things. Most of the time, he's in like home only, stuck at home, or he's like how we sometimes think that we should introduce himself to some uh, new places or new people. So is this following the philosopher? Like, I'm confused now.
Sure. Go ahead. That's the whole openness about it. There is no right or wrong answer to it, that should I be doing this or shouldn't I be doing this. So please go ahead and explore. The whole big world is, I would say, yours. I mean, it's everybody's, but I'm saying from your perspective, it's all yours. It's open to explore wherever you want to go today, whatever you want to do today. That's why I was meaning we didn't really discuss it, but the thought process of today's theme was that, hey, can't every day be a game? Well, Olympics comes once in 4 years, but I play a game every day called life. And it's in that I get a medal, not whether I, at the end of it, if I reach somewhere, because I don't reach anywhere, right? The day gets over and the new day starts. So everybody reaches the next day in that sense. So there isn't really a reaching anywhere, but I win because, or rather I make the most of this game because I play it the way I want. When you think of it this way, oh wow, I can play the game how I want it, depending on what are my interests, what are my likes, what are my strengths, what are my skills, what am I drawn to, and in that sense, I'm living the day, the game, as exactly how I want, and which is why the game itself becomes the medal. We're just trying to draw an analogy with Olympics, with it being the Olympics season. So me and Vijay were kind of exchanging notes about, meaning it's in that sense, yes, we are all in it.
Very true.
So there isn't really an answer to your questions. The only answer is that, thank God there is no answer. Yeah, because if there's an answer, if there's a formula, that's what's the big deal? It's so boring. It's like if everything is known, if everything is charted out, if everything is mapped out, what's the big deal? Then something artificial needs to be created, let's say a ranking system. Then otherwise it will be so boring. So somebody came up, which is saying there are many answers. Yeah. So then somebody would come up with this ranking system, so that there is some, we have to infuse some external excitement.
True. To make it sustainable.
Pardon? Yeah, make it sustainable. Yeah, make it motivated. Make the child motivated. Then we need to bring in some other external things, medals, prizes, ranks, whatever. But if you don't do all that, then, well, now the child has to figure out how he or she wants to have the joy of living today.
Very true.
And especially because your child is so young, okay, I would say I would even more stress upon that please don't get caught up with Please don't read too much. Please don't meet too much. Please follow your child too much, if at all, much. Because finally, yeah, I mean, all of those, all the written thoughts and all those lovely philosophies are lovely. I'm not trying to put anything down. I'm not even putting the conventional education. I think that's also fabulous. So there are these so many things. And I would say they're all fantastic. They're all lovely. We don't need to, just that we don't need to get stuck to one thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there should not be a ism.
Yeah, there need not be a ism. Absolutely.
I must say, Akshay and Gitanjali, lucky you. Congratulations to you that at like really early age, you guys are exploring this way, and you guys are so keen this way. Otherwise, when we get little, like for me myself, I'm saying, when we get little late, then it is like we do something and then we have to undo. Oh, ये सब
Oh,
सब क्या
yeah,
किया
right.
मैंने, like that.
Actually, I wanted a child because of this. I wanted to be part of his learning journey, unlearn things. That's why I wanted a child.
I like that. Why do you want to have a child? So that I can run behind him. That's a good one. He'll keep you fit for sure. Okay, we have a few more people who've joined in. Monisha, Madhu. Um, this is a very open meetups. It's about open learning, so it has to be a very open. You have to just unmute if you want to on your video. That would be fantastic because then we can make a visual connect and we can just talk, just ask questions. Yeah. So welcome, Madhu. Welcome, Monisha. You can also ask or just jump into the discussion or share your experience. What are you do? Where are you in terms of journey of your life? Terry, you have any questions, thoughts to share? Yep, I hope you're able to hear us, Madhu, Monisha. You can just share because this we really don't really have a. It's not like a. What should I say? It's not like a webinar where we're just going to give you some gyan. In fact, we were talking about that there is no gyan, there is exploration. That is what it is. So, yeah, if you participate, then that becomes a discussion. That's what it is all about. Duji, I'm not sure if I caught all the thoughts you had with respect to Olympics. So whatever I could pick it up, I threw. But if you want, you can add more. If your connection is not so good today, Duji, you can share in the chat window. Dwiji is also, it's just for others, Dwiji is also part of our community. Dwiji and Sudha have an 11-year-old daughter. Just like Preeti is part, Preeti and her family is part of the community. So we are kind of three of us today here from Aarohi community. And yeah, we can share what little we have experienced. So you can ask us questions. Yeah. Oh, it's turning out to be a quiet session today, quiet meetup. Maybe I think maybe some people have an internet issue.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
What's his name, Akshay?
Shashwat.
Shashwat. Wow, it's a beautiful name.
Actually, we were amazed, like at the thoughts of what we heard of you in the Shiksha Yatra, Vimuk Shiksha Yatra. So it was quite radical. Like even the people with whom we interacted earlier. So there was typical format even for homeschooling. They were having syllabus at home. They were having fixed schedules at home. Just that they were avoiding schools or formal educations. Some of them, even for unschooling, they had a format. So just having no format altogether, and it's a pure form of learning, which I can say open learning is. That was very fascinating and quite a. We used to think that we are very radical or very open in our thinking, but when we heard you, we thought that we also have some of our own baggages which we are holding on to. So maybe we ourselves have to unlearn and mm, work upon ourselves more to get rid of those baggages or those stigma or those prejudices.
Ratnesh, to
Yeah.
add to what Akshay is saying, even I have this question about the baggages. Like, still at times, even after learning with you guys so much day in and day out, still at times when I, as an individual, get stuck as a parent, then how do I like handle certain situations wherein those baggages play some role, those my own previous learnings or something play some role then even.
Yeah, so first of all, I am personally, I don't like to call them baggages, because that's like, it's like saying that those thoughts are not good or those beliefs are not good. I would just say, just have more beliefs rather than trying to push them away. If you want to call them old furniture typically is heavy, and but it's good, it's solid. So we don't have to call it baggage. We could just call it, yeah, we have got some modern furniture or new furniture, not modern actually, new furniture, and we also have some old furniture. I think to me it's more interesting to have multiple beliefs, rather than saying one belief is a baggage and one belief has to be done this way. Because then we are only cramping ourselves again from one ism to another ism. Well, so if I operate today from one thought process, which could be old, right? Isn't that okay? Isn't that all right? Tomorrow I can operate from another. So since I am not sold to it or married to that belief, I can switch tomorrow and so on. So I find that more relieving, rather than saying that no, this thought process is not good or not okay, and that thought process only has to be adopted or all the time, kind of. So I would say just have a lot of pens and pencils or whatever stationery, and some old, some new, lots of old furniture, lots of old clothes. Sometimes we just like to go back to our old clothes and snuggle into them, and sometimes we like something more new. Dwichi is finally, I can see his hand raised. So I'm just saying, if you don't think of it
Yeah.
as baggage, then there is no issue at all.
Yeah. So I think am I better audible now?
Hmm, 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 hmm,
Okay, I won't turn on my video and jinx it. But
hmm.
I think the other aspect to this, not that I want to negate what you said, Ratnesh, but just that i- when we say, am I doing it right or wrong, assumes that there is a right way of doing things.
Mm.
And uh, and I feel we shouldn't be so harsh on ourselves, because whatever we do, we are doing it wrong. Let's resign to the fact that everyone ends up in a grave. Okay. So,
So life is a grave mistake.
yeah, exactly. Life is a grave mistake. So, so instead of looking at am I doing it right or wrong, I think it would be best to see what effect it is having. What are my actions? What are the effect of my actions? That reflecting on what are the effects of my actions, I think is a much more simpler and forward-looking way of or problem-solving way of looking at things, rather than microanalyzing the problem to arrive at an answer. So that's the way I would look at things, Akshay, Preeti. That we are a net sum of all our experiences. It's not like I can take out the effect of my irritating uncle out of my learning process or out of my personality, right? Or my loving sister, or so it's not like one thing can be amplified and the other de-amplified in our experiences in our past, but we can do that going forward. So that's the way I see it, that let's see what effects my action has on others actions have on me, and identify, okay, which ones do I want to nurture and which ones do I want to step away from, uh, as 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 the individual, as the subject myself. Now if I'm thinking about my child, then likewise, instead of putting myself in the picture, look at it from their perspective and say, okay, is this really benefiting them? And then, of course, the other thing is talk to them and see what they feel. Because when we say self-directed learning, that was the other thing I wanted to say, Akshay, that it's not that when we do self-directed learning, there is no routine or there's no schedule, there's no
Structure.
structure. Yeah, the structure is there. The idea is that the individual builds the structure that they want to conform to, and if they want to change it, they change it, right? Having a structure which is flexible and which is designed by the learner themselves is literally how each of us lives our life over weekends. One of our friends, Avni, she is 10 years old, probably 10 now, maybe 9. No, I think she's 10.
10, yeah.
She put it very nicely in one of these sessions, that meetups, that she said, Auntie, everybody is an open learner on Saturdays, Sundays, because we decide what to do on Saturdays, Sundays.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yes.
the idea that open learning is without structure is like saying weekends I don't do anything, which is not true. I'm sure you also do something. You might take an
Yes.
extra long nap, but that doesn't mean that you don't do anything, right?
An extra long nap is also a plan, a structure, right?
Of
Yeah.
course, exactly. Exactly. So I would just like to put in that point as well, that when we say self-directed, it does not mean no structures, no one doesn't conform to anything, it's free
True.
ranging, right? So
Yeah.
it's just that we as the learners ourselves are putting it. And the reason I'm saying we is because even we adults are have to really start practicing the ideas of open learning, like Gitanjali said, and like Preeti was mentioning earlier. There's a lot of things that we have to unlearn ourselves, and there are a lot of things that we can, ways in which we can use open learning concepts in our own lives, whatever profession we are in. So yeah.
True.
Some more people have joined. Rajesh and even Suprita has joined back. So please go ahead. You can
Hi guys.
talk. Yeah, hi Rajesh.
Hi. I think this is my first session. I just wanted to see like-minded people like me who actually think about their kids as kids, not as factory workers sort of. Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, it's very, very informal, Rajesh. Go ahead, share anything, ask anything, respond to anybody's thoughts. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's same for you, Monisha. You can just go ahead and share whatever comes to your mind whenever.
I've actually gone through your website like 101 times. So, and I spoke to Nandini, Advai's mother.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to Sunita.
Wow.
I had been to Aarohi.
Right.
There's a lot of clarity is there. So I know I've understood a lot many things. The only thing is my concerns are like, what will I answer my parents? Or I know I'm sure they're concerned about my sons if I'm going to open learning, like what will happen to their future? That's what they think. But I got answers for that also. But again, some fear of uncertainty is there, no? That's
Sure,
the
sure.
like, what will they choose? Will we able to fund them?
So I'm hearing two different things. One, I'm hearing your concerns with their future, or your, let's say, subtle anxieties of how will it pan out and so on. And then the other aspect that I seem to be hearing is that how will you respond to your parents? I'm saying the child's grandparents, I'm assuming.
Immediate grand.
Yeah, immediate family. Yeah, the extended family and the immediate family. Yeah. Interesting. So, Preeti, you want to respond to that? Any one of them?
Yeah. So, firstly, Monisha, about the uncertainty that you have in your mind. Um, so, basically, tell me, I'm just asking you, don't take me otherwise, just asking you which school or which institute or which organization, when our child goes in to study or to do any kind of anything, any work, anything they do, who writes and says that your child will be doing this or will be taken by this company or we will become entrepreneur in this field after these many years or something, who gives any any stamp paper?
Correct.
Uncertainty is everywhere, like
Exactly.
whichever field and whichever way the child chooses. But in this case, what we are doing as of today, like we are really living and we are exploring everything, and we are doing what we really like to do. Because
Correct.
see, so many, like if you see so many, maybe I'm taking this discussion in some other direction, but if you see today so many depression cases or something in adults and everything, who are going and working or maybe even in jobs or in some organization, or even when they are entrepreneurs by force or something. So how many people just say that I don't like what I'm doing, but I'm doing it because I have to do it? So do we really want that life for us in future or for our children in future? No, na. Matlab, we want to live happy and we want them to be happy. We want them to choose whatever they want to, and they will find their ways out. We have found our ways. We have found means whichever way, whether we have gone to school or not gone to school or whatever, we have found our way today and we are living. So they will also find their way and they will live and they know what they will do. So it's like taking too much of pressure is of no sense. That is what I feel. And about answering your parents or anything, if you will have doubt in your mind, then you will never be able to answer anybody. If you will not have any doubts, you will be clear with your thought process, then you will be sure and you will have all the confidence and everything to talk about and say whatever questions they have, you will be able to clear them all. Yeah.
I think Duji is also wanting to share. Duji, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So, Manisha, this is a concern that we all share. As in, how do we answer? How do we talk? Or how do we? Why do we feel this is correct or this is wrong? I don't think there can be one fixed answer, because what we are trying to do is not just go a different way, but rather um, in encourage the child's natural instincts, right? So in the same way, I would say, whoever is you feel you need to explain to, first I would strongly recommend that you understand what their concerns are, right? Because unless we understand, like Priti was saying, one is that we need to have confidence what we are doing. Not just that, but beyond that, the next step would be to understand what the concerns are so that we can address those concerns. So that will come about only when we approach it with an open mind. That I need to understand this, not that I need to explain and convince them this is the right way, but rather that we need to understand what the situation is before we can go ahead and offer that, okay, this is the right answer there, right? So understanding the concern requires that we approach it with an open mind and recognize that whoever is asking you to explain is also concerned about you and your child or children, right? So it's not that they are trying to harm you in any way. It is that they're interested. And I'm not saying there is no one who will not want to harm you, but I would assume that you are, you know them well enough that you will be able to distinguish between a well wisher and not someone who doesn't wish you well,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So, so the
The
idea is,
intentions are good.
so
Intentions.
Abhi, intention is very hard to assess, but impact ka hi sochiye bas. So, but yeah, so just to add a little bit to what Preeti said, that don't, I would strongly underline the need to approach it as a learning opportunity for yourself in communicating what is it that you want to do. It might be your child's education, it might be your the choice of the color on your house, or why you bought a certain dress, right? Each one
Yes.
has a different gravity, but at the same time, each one we can work ourselves through different exercises to to be able to answer the more difficult questions, right? So take it as an open learning opportunity where you can, you will take different smaller steps before you get to the Olympics.
Okay, if you are okay, I will offer a third opinion, which seems to be totally in contradiction to what Dviji and Preeti are saying. I mean, if you can discard my thought, I would say be completely unsure. Just opposite to what Preeti is saying, I would say be completely unsure. Say I don't know anything, and let's together explore this. Let's together understand what is learning, what is education, how did I learn in my work, how did I learn in my school, how did I learn in my childhood when I didn't go to school, how do farmers learn who have never been to school, and so on. So you can actually invite them, whoever is part of your ecosystem, your extended family, friends, neighbors, whoever it is. Say, let's find this out. I know nothing about it. Okay, let's do a meetup. And you call them and you discuss and you explore and you bring in more and more dimensions to it and explore with them without discarding anything as wrong or right. You may end up more confused in that sense, more uncertain in that sense, but I would say, yeah, meaning maybe that is what life is about uncertainty. Life isn't about certainty, right? uh, People say, if a child comes to Aarohi, in how many months he will settle down? So I say, oh, really? Is he supposed to settle down? Whenever he is settled down, let me know, I'll unsettle him. Right? The point is of not settling down. The point is that, this is an adventure. In the sense that I'm not trying to say that one needs to do million things necessarily, but I'm saying there is no certainty in anything. Like Vijay was saying, there's no certainty in our life, right? Preeti is saying there's no certainty which any school, college, or any establishment can offer, because that is no fun. As simple as that. For not for any other reason, but if life had certainty, if somebody would tell you what will happen to you tomorrow, believe me, tomorrow is not worth living then. If already it is scripted, if already something is given at 10 o'clock, you will feel this, at 11 o'clock, you will feel that, then there's no fun. But the fun is that you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Yes, you can plan for it, you can prepare for it, you can try out different things. And when tomorrow comes, you enjoy with whatever you have planned, whatever you have prepared, and then you go ahead with that, and so on. So yeah, I look at open learning with the keywords of co-creation, co-living, co-supporting. When I believe that I am with others, my child, my spouse, my family, my community members, and I feel that they're all there with me in my journey, then I don't worry about uncertainty. Not because the day is not uncertain, but because I have such lovely company. Because we are in it together, because we will learn together, because we'll support together. And I think that is what gives me assurance that however tomorrow comes, that will be more joyous. So open learning is all about this the word co, right? All together coming. In your case, maybe it will start with your family, grandparents, etc., etc., and then slowly, as and when and whoever you want to add in that co, you can keep on adding. And if you feel like, and that's an invitation, just think of the whole world as your co, right? Just assume that. And I think in my experience, the more I assume that, more everybody is supporting me. Literally everybody. Yeah. Today we had both cylinders empty. So we went to this Bharat Gas and I said, I have both cylinders empty. They said, you have booked one cylinder. I said, yeah. So he says, you will get only one cylinder. I said, okay, but if you can give me two, give me two. So I took one cylinder, was sitting in my car, and then he called me. Okay, he said, take two. Without a booking, government agency is giving me two cylinders. Why? I have no idea. I did not go with an expectation. I just carried two empty cylinders with me, thinking maybe, right? Maybe he's on my side. He's there to help me, to support me. So life is funny. When you look at everybody is trying to support you, then everybody can, at least we are giving that option. So I look at open learning as this whole co-creation, which is why it doesn't have a script, as Akshay was talking about, which is why it doesn't have a formula, which is why we just keep co-evolving actually. And in fact, the word Aarohi means evolving. So we are constantly changing, constantly evolving, constantly, whatever, growing, if you want to use that term. Okay, Dviji is saying it's not contrary to what we said. Yeah. I mean, that was just my pitch, Dviji. That's a style. Obviously, it is not contrary to what Dviji or Preeti said. I'm just putting it in a different way.
Got it. Actually, the thing is, I don't know, many people, my mom, my husband, I don't talk to my dad much. There's no much communication at all until and unless there's a very, very much need. Okay, so these two are very important for me. And these two always say, you have a communication problem. And maybe with them, not with them, with others. So I want my sons to, yes, I seriously felt open learning makes a child to talk what he thinks, what thoughts he has, isn't it?
Sure. It at least values their thoughts because they are the leaders. Yeah. Yeah, so I would again, if you want, I will extend that. Don't bother about communicating with them. Just bother about hearing with them. Ask them so many questions that they have to answer you, right? Rather than you answering them, right? And let it be in all kinds of direction. Sorry?
I have a tag also, Christian Bank.
Absolutely. Since you already have a tag, go ahead. Enjoy it. I think Akshay and Gitanjali have also raised their hand. Go ahead. You don't have to raise hand. Please don't raise hands. Everybody just jump in. If I'm speaking too much, just shut me up. Yeah.
No. Actually, my question might sound a bit naive or very silly, but many a times because I had previously said that we we come from a typical educational system, so we are used to structures or our lives uh, getting decided, or the patterns of our lives, the decisions of our lives, mm, being made in a typical pattern, like we'll go to college, we'll study, we'll get a job most probably, and we'll earn decent amount of money. So in this open learning, we are keeping it open for kids and even for ourselves. Like we just can't make our son go for open learning. We ourselves have to unlearn, and even we have to be on the journey with him, and we want to, not we have to, but we want to. So do you or any of the parents in such journey have any apprehensions or any doubts about monetary of monetary nature, like how shall we sustain if the future is so uncertain, if the decisions of if the learning process may take like not time, but uh, generally when we are learning with a full conviction, or with open heart or with open mind, then we generally don't think about sustenance or money matters a lot. Like,
Yeah.
but like we do have such apprehensions sometimes, not always, but sometimes we feel like, what if something happens, what if we go or run out of money for sustenance, or maybe we don't have enough resources to fulfill our dreams or to fulfill our passions. For example, we love traveling, but maybe our funds run out. So how do we sustain it in such conditions in future, or maybe?
Okay. Anybody would like to respond to that?
I can go first.
Sure,
So,
sure.
Akshay, I count myself as an open learner, self-directed learner for about 30 years now, at least.
Great.
I'm about 42. I have studied at least some 6 different related but different streams, and I finally what I'm doing is completely different from all the 6 things that I did. But at the same time, I'm using everything that I learned in all those 6 things in what I'm doing today. So, do I have a stable income? Not really. Am I
Mhm.
happy? Yes.
Mhm.
Are we able to do the things that we thought we would be able to do? No. I don't want to paint a wrong picture. No, because plans keep changing. Dreams are dreams. I mean, some dreams we are able to achieve, some dreams we are not able to achieve. So it's not that take this road and the blue pill and the red pill. It's not like that.
Mhm.
I don't know if others caught the analogy, but it's the whole
Mhm.
Matrix movie where you take the blue pill and you will see one reality. You take the red pill and you will see a different reality. You know, the reality that you see is different irrespective of which pill you take. I feel
So
so.
true.
So there will be uncertainty. There will be ups and downs, and the whole idea of doing this as a part of a community is to give the kind of shared resources, the common resources that we all need at different times. So it's not that you won't be able to earn. Like, let me assure you, if you are able to access this session and join this meetup, very likely you have sufficient resources to be able to, uh, you know, uh, take care of yourself, at least to a minimum degree. And given the right orientation and other things, I'm pretty sure you will do okay. And there are a lot of people who do with a lot less, as in
Mhm.
happy with a lot less. So, whether I will be happy or not is a question that you can answer, and whether will I have enough or not is something that I would strongly encourage you to talk with your own family to find the answer to. Uh,
Mhm.
I would not say that everything is figured out here. That's what I would like to conclude with.
Yeah. Very true, very true. Like,
So let me tell a small story, Akshay.
Mhm.
There was a lady who was wandering in the hills, and in a stream she was walking through, and she chanced upon a small, very striking kind of a stone, right? And she just picked it up, very curious, and popped it in her bag. And when she reached a little village, kind of a place, a man saw that stone in her bag, and he knew immediately that it's a very precious stone, and it will take care of all the financial needs of his life. Right? Just that one stone, because it is so precious. He knew that. And so he went to this lady and he said, "Oh, you have this stone. I was looking for this stone. This is of specific use to me." The lady uh, uh, just gave the stone to him. He said, "Oh, you wanted the stone? Go ahead, take it. Right? Um, it's all yours." He was like totally excited. He took the stone and went back to his home and told his wife that all our, whatever financial needs of the life are taken care of. And now we are, now there's nothing to work for or nothing to bother. Um, but something happened in him. And next day morning, he was again searching for that lady, and he found that lady. And he said that, "I have come to give you back this stone." So the lady said, "Oh, why?" He said, "I want you to give me another stone." So she said, "But I don't have another stone." He said, "No, no, 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 you have another stone. That another stone is the ability to give away this stone. That's the one I want, because overnight I realized that's the one that I really need to live my life, not this stone. This ability to be able to just give, right? This ability to connect, this ability to see the world in a much bigger way." So, uh, why I'm sharing this story is because I think it's, to me, yes, money is, I'm not trying to say money is not important, but I'm just trying to say we are placing too much importance on money and not on the qualities, not on the values, not on the skills, not on all the things that really make us what we are. And that is our real wealth. And if we can think in those ways, then from day one, what open learners are doing is they're constantly collecting that wealth. They may not get whatever financial wealth, as Duji said, that is their job. They will figure out how much they want to earn and what they want to earn. But finally, that wealth has only that much meaning. But if I can add value to myself, so if you look at an open learner, the open learner is in a way trying to say, hey, how can I add value to myself today? Not add wealth today, but add value to myself today. Maybe I would learn this, maybe I would meet somebody else, maybe I will travel somewhere else, and so on. And that journey continues throughout the life.
I would like to add one very nice thing to build this a little further.
Sure,
Uh,
Juji.
One thing that you see among open learners is that they have to convince people to teach them, to give them time, right? They might
Yes.
recognize that, hey, I know there's a YouTube video, but I don't know how to use YouTube. You'll have to come and convince someone, hey, open that laptop or give me your device, or show me how I can use this, or how, teach me this formula, or tell me why does the ball fall here and not there, stuff like that. So they have to convince others to do things for them, you know.
Yep.
So just building on what Ratnesh said, that's the stone that you cannot get otherwise. If there is a syllabus where you are able to, you're fed, spoon fed everything, then your child does not have the capacity to convince others about what they need, right? Because very likely they haven't even identified what they need or what they want, right? So you will see that children make very convincing arguments about candy, about chocolates, about games, about why they should be allowed to play cricket or volleyball or football or whatever, or video game. They will not make a very convincing argument about, let's say, mathematics or English or history or anything like that. And the reason is that they're invested in getting something out of it, and therefore they pursue whatever means possible to secure that, right? So the ability to convince is not just among open learners, it's among everyone. What we do when we do self-directed learning, open learning, is try to nurture that sense, to feed some more fuel into that fire and take it to the next level. So like Ratnesh said earlier, to unsettle people who are settling down, so that they're always seeking that extra bit, that next step, that thirst is not quenched, but rather is revitalized.
Thank you, Duji. That completed the thought.
मुझे तो
I
कुछ
don't-
समझ ही नहीं आया.
अरे कुछ चीजें नहीं समझने की भी होती हैं.
जी
Yeah.
थोड़ा हल्का हल्का बोलो, इतना भारी भारी मत.
ये ओलंपिक्स का टॉपिक है यार, कम ऑन.
ओलंपिक्स का क्या
कुछ
बोला
खेल
आपने?
कूद का खेलो.
कन्विंस किया, लेकिन ओलंपिक्स तो कुछ नहीं बोला और समझ में कुछ नहीं आया.
We will discuss that another time. Or if Akshay would like to pursue this topic, I don't mind talking further on this.
Yeah. Anybody? To be very honest, just to add to Akshay's question, even I want to further ask on this, not answer, but ask on this. How do you really means? Ratnesh definitely has done quite a justice to it. But Viji, what you said, I think you said something very profound, but I couldn't get you. So if you can,
so I'll just dial it down a little. So what I was trying to tell is that one of the important things to earn something is to be able to convince others to give their time and energy for what you want to do, right? Whether you're at work, whether you're in school, wherever you are, you should be able to convince them that what you're doing is worth it, and that they should also work with you. They should fall into that design that you're trying to make your living with.
Yeah, in some ways, I think, Preeti, what Dviji is saying, earning isn't just about money. Earning is also about people's space, people's thoughts, because people are one of the most amazing resources, right?
I got it.
If you have a carom board,
you mean to say that you went for one cylinder and you got two. That, right?
Yes, I mean to say, if you have a carom board, then why do I need to buy one? I can just come over and say, Preeti, let's play.
Yeah.
So I don't need a carom board now. एक carom board का जरूरत नहीं है. अभी what else we need? So I can continuously connect with people or places where there is a win-win.
Okay.
Yeah,
exactly.
the real Olympics of life is all about win-win, right? Where everybody wins. So the more we have those equations, I think I'm not saying finances don't matter, but the finances just become part of a larger scheme of win-win. And one of the big wins Dviji is talking about is this: the open learning from day one tells you that there is no win being served to you on your plate. You have to go and figure out anything: resources, people, time, everything, even companionship. You're not given peers. You have to go and find a peer. I was talking to some teenagers the other day in the Passion to Profession series, which Preeti, you are aware of. So they said, oh, in college, I get, I want to go to college. I said, you want to go to college because of the college mates that you will get, because of all the fun you will have with your friends. I said, that's definitely, to me, the biggest advantage of a college, that I get to have some friends. And I don't know the वो लिखाई पढ़ाई तो मालूम नहीं. I don't know if I did any justice to that, but I did definite justice to friendships. So I said, but for that you don't have to go to a college. There's so many people whom you can make friendship with. I mean, why do you pay 5 lakhs to get friends? Meaning you can get them for free. You don't have to pay. You can just need to make friendships. So that I wasn't very convincing. In any case, I wasn't trying to convince, but I was just trying to share with them that. So that's one thing open learners kind of within quotes get trained to, in the sense trained to the extent that they want to use this, that I need to go out and get my things. Whether it's 2 cylinders or 1 cylinder. Yeah. And they know that it won't come on a platter.
Yeah, and if they want to earn $1 million, then they have to go do the $1 million business, not ask for their father or mother to invest some $500,000 and then make it $1 million, right?
Yeah.
True. Now I think I got it in total. Like what after Preeti asked question.
Cool.
I would, the concern that Akshay has, I think it's the concern that most of everyone has, that, whether you want to learn to earn a living or you want to learn to live. And we have to strike a balance somewhere. I think that's, if you see from our perspective,
Correct, Rajesh. And it's not just to live independent of earning,
you have to strike a balance between both of it. Yeah. Whether you want who wants to live, So that's where I think Ratnesh was going on. I mean, with his example, that you want to enjoy the college life. Yes, you want to live the life you want, but you also want to earn. You want to be sustainable, and how to strike that balance is where the journey of life is. Depends on what the circumstances are.
So help me understand this, Rajesh. You're saying the balance has to be between what is the two things that we have to balance between?
I was saying, learning to earn a living or learning to live, basically. So earn a living, everyone has to earn a living. That's necessity.
Mm-hmm.
But you also want to live. You want to learn to live. So the education system that I see, I think the way I am looking at things from the past things, So I'll just try to give an example. So the learning system is so restricted by the exams and the way it has to go. It forces the person to, follow a particular path only and only within a given dimensions. It doesn't let the person expand his, faculties or the absorption power. So I was just trying to relate to it. So I went to, a botanical garden or something that's there, Lal Bagh or something. So there's a bonsai, right? So I just went there and I saw a bonsai of a people tree, big one. So I asked him, what is the age of this? So he said it's around 30 years. So I said, 30 years and it's still that size. So he said, yeah, it's 30 years, but it looks good. It's there. Everyone can see it. Everyone can admire it. But at the same time, there's another people tree just around 50 meters from there, and it's a huge one, hardly 20 years. But the roots of that people tree weren't restricted, so it's become huge. It's been able to provide shade to a lot of people. Right. And it's looking good too, at least from my perspective. So my perspective, is that our education system or our approach to education is making our kids into this bonsai tree, which we want to admire, good, but we are keeping on, restricting the roots and cutting it from growing. So it has to do that on its own. We can, just try to provide it protection while it grows. It can take care of its own learning, everything, as we allow it to be, free to reach out, let the roots travel where they want to. And then it grows big, and then it provides shade to all whoever helped it. Or whether helped it or not helped it. It does, regardless of that.
Sure.
So that's where
wait. I want you to go back to the balance part. Sorry, I'm still stuck there. I like the people tree story, but I'm still stuck with the balance. Personally, I don't like balance. Okay. Why do I need to balance things? The moment I am thinking about balance, I think there is something wrong. In the sense, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Why
Yep,
do
the
I
problem
have?
is life is not perfect. That's the reason. I wouldn't want to talk about balance, but we have to, be
No,
around
no, no.
people,
I don't agree with that. That's what I'm
other people
saying.
as
I
well.
think I'm saying I don't agree with that. I'm saying I don't want to balance anything, right? And there's no need to balance anything. When for example, and that's the way everybody has structured things, right? The school, college, even organizations, corporations. I heard of something called as a work-life balance. Oh my goodness, I have to now balance my work and balance my life as if life is different and work is different or whatever. So what I'm trying to say is that's one very tension-filled, stress built perspective called balance. What if we refuse to look at it as balance? What if we say, I'm just going to learn? For example, I'm not even going to learn anything. I'm just going to live. And living would invariably involve me to do things, right? Doing will invariably involve learning also. So learning, doing, then just become earning, everything becomes a subset of living. Then there is no need to balance anything. Then I'm just living. That's it. I'm living whatever when I say when I'm living, what does that mean to me? That means I wake up in the morning and I decide, hey, what do I want to do today? Or how do I want to live today or this week or this month or this year or the next 2 years, whatever scale I want to think about. And I just go about doing that. Then it's just life. Yes, it will not, challenges will be there, ups and downs will be there. That who doesn't have that? But then it's just living where I don't need to balance anything. I don't need to try and do this also. And then because balancing means everything is tense. All my muscles, mind muscles, body muscles, every muscle is tense. There's a lot of stress because something will go this side. No, 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 no. This side. No, 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 no. This side. No, 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 no. Why do I want to even do that? In fact, I would say open learning is trying not to do a balance. I have another word to suggest, right? Instead of saying we need to balance life, I would say we need to mix up things. We need to enjoy all the things that come to us. When you mix up everything in something, there is no need to balance anything. It's all one khichdi. And that's what life is. Right? It's a khichdi of everything. It's a khichdi of all kinds of relationship. It's a khichdi of all kinds of needs and wants and desires and dreams and problems and challenges and solutions and situations and circumstances. It's just a khichdi. And the khichdi changes its flavor, its texture, its composition every single day. And that's what it is. I don't know if I made any sense whatsoever. But I'm saying
trajectory is totally towards philosophy, I think. So Preeti, we are waiting for your special question.
so
I'm like really
we'll leave it at that.
This balance thing and this is Ratnesh's clarity on this balance thing is superb, man. Matlab, amazing. And I really now understand how much this brings in stress and unnecessary of trouble. If you mix it like khichdi, then kuch nahi, chalo, sab theek hai. Too good. And the biggest thing is sabse easy to make is khichdi only. सबसे easy, सबसे जल्दी खिचड़ी बनता है.
I don't understand khichdi thing.
Yeah, khichdi means it's just a mixing bowl. Okay, bhel puri is a better, another simple analogy. It's a bhel of different things. It's a mixture. Rather than trying to balance things, just mix up whatever it comes your way. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. I don't like balancing at all. That could be a personal choice, obviously. I'm not trying to say that that's the right or the wrong way to look at something at life, but yeah, that's the way. So personally, for example, Rajesh, I've never tried to balance finances. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Rajesh, would you like to continue this topic or shall we change?
Yeah, you can change. The topic actually was from Akshay. I was I was just trying to relate to
No,
that.
the idea is not that I want to change. I don't want it to be that we go on and you have actually moved on and we are still stuck in this.
Well,
No,
yeah,
I actually
thanks.
moved on quite at the start itself.
Thank you, Dwiji. We are the one buckbuckers. We can just.
जब इतना बकबक कर ही लिया तो एक और बोल देती हूँ, खिचड़ी के अलावा भेल भी सबसे जल्दी बनता है.
Okay. True, very true, very true. Yeah. So, just going back to the Olympics thing, now that Preeti has mentioned that I didn't really bring that up anywhere. See, the idea of open learning and Olympics is actually, on the face of it, quite contradictory. Unlike what Ratnesh said earlier, but you know what I mean. Because when we say open learning, we are saying a non-competitive process, whereas Olympics, if you see, is a very competitive process. But if you actually listen to what the top athletes say, they are invariably focused on what their best performance was. They're really not focused on the field of other athletes as much as they are on pushing themselves beyond a certain limit that they have already crossed. So, in that sense, open learning is building that philosophy of pushing yourself beyond the limits that you have identified, that you have crossed, that you have achieved. So, when we say self directed learning, when we say open learning, we do not mean to say and compare it with Olympics. We are not trying to say that, kids will be able to compete in the Olympics. They probably will be able to compete in the Olympics. That's not to, rule out any possibilities. But at the same time, the spirit behind open learning is to look at ourselves and what we can do better than what we have done earlier. So yeah, so that's what I just wanted to plug for that. While on the face of it, it's a little contradictory. The spirit of the Olympics and the spirit of open learning are not too far from each other.
If I heard correctly, did you say that in open learning we try to like uh, be better at learning compared to ourselves every day?
Yeah, not just about learning, but like for example, if I have been able to do, let's say, draw steps today, tomorrow I want to draw ladder, right? I probably will not, maybe I will want to do more steps, more maybe spiral steps, maybe some other stairs. Or today, if I'm able to do quadratic equations, tomorrow I will want to practice quadratic equations so that I can do it in a shorter duration of time, right? Or today I'm able to read and analyze this chapter of some history book, and tomorrow I might want to explain that to someone, right? So the idea of pushing ourselves beyond what we have already achieved is the basic formula of learning. Learning is equal to improving oneself.
Vijay, can I give an
Right.
example here? My own example.
Please.
Yeah. So this is my own personal example, very personal. The thing is, like I used to do, means I really love painting, drawing, sketching, everything. But in my lifetime, I never got an opportunity to do it because I never got time because I was stuck in my conventional and everything. So when I became 40 now, in open learning with my daughter, she doing open learning. I also am doing open learning. So I started doing this drawing, painting, everything. And initially I started with videos and copying the videos, just tracing out everything, whatever the video is saying, and just doing it with their flow. Then little bit trying a little more, then not taking videos help, taking some little picture help here and there, and then assembling things and making something out of it. And then further to it, now I've started making my own creations, and which I am myself loving so much. So that is the growth from like from nowhere to a little bit of doing my own stuff. So maybe that is.
Yeah, that is exactly the spirit of Olympics. I just
Yay.
pulled out the 3 Latin words Duji had already posted about this spirit of swifter, higher, stronger. The CTS, LTS, 4TS. So absolutely, I think open learning in that sense. So it's it's not so much about as Biji said, it's not about another person, but it's about yourself. How wherever you want to become stronger, higher, swifter in whichever aspect of your life. It could be anything. It could be a skill. It could be a subject. It could be a field. It could be a relationship. It could be anything.
Ow. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have talked a lot of we talked a lot today, and I think it's a good time to pause this discussion. It's been a wonderful discussion, a lot of philosophy thrown around today. And thanks everybody. I think Rajesh left, but I can at least thank Akshay and Gitanjali. Thanks Monisha, and definitely thank Preeti and Vijay.
Please.
We had a lovely time.
Well,
So
nice fun. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Yeah.
good weekend. Bye.
Right, we'll be
Yeah,
there.
my son is all.
Oh.
Hi.
Hi.
So we are there every Saturday, 5 o'clock. Anytime you want to have chai with us, you can drop in and we can chit chat.
Today only I was seeing one documentary on baseball, just 1 hour documentary. So Japanese documentary it was. So just saying bye was like this, like too much of bowing down. So
Exactly.
bye.
So that you see my bald head.
Yeah. Okay, bye
Okay,
guys.
thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.